Hello, good people, man. It's your boy Wesa here. I'm back with another video. Man. First of all, let me just say thank you. Thank you so much, man. I've been feeling the love for all my friends who have been like, tupige kitu tuende. Big thanks, man. I appreciate it. And as I promised, a lot of content is coming your way. Yes. This is the first of many. Before I get into today's video, I want to give a few big shout-outs. First one, Pastor Benjamin. Pastor Benja is my G. He's my man. Actually, you may not know this, but Sai, he's the one behind the mitambos, setting up things that I don't even understand, things I don't even know. And it's like, you know what? He told me, you're going to do a podcast. We'll give you the best we can. And I'm like, which pastor on this planet takes the time to just help someone and be behind the scenes, you know? Other pastors, it's not about how can I help you, it's about how can you help me. Wacha nisiseme zaidi nisichome. Second shout out, Mr. Steve Caste, my GPR. Ben, God bless that guy. Steve Caste has been pushing me. When are we shooting? When is the next video? He's also behind the production. What do you need? Do you need me to edit? Do you need me to edit videos for you? Do you need me to bring my equipment? You know? And he's the one who he designed the intro video. And he's been doing so many things for me, man. Caste Naku, Lombotov, big time. That's my G. Third, my mom. It's her birthday today, man. Happy birthday girl. Nakupenda sana. That woman, that is a serious woman. When I started getting dreadlocks when they were short in the ugly stage, she asked me, kwa nini umeweka omena kwa kichwa? Mom, nakupenda, happy birthday, and many more to you. Yes. On to the video. Somebody asked me, Safari, Wesa, do I have to be led in prayer, for me to say that I'm saved? Do I have to go to the front and lift my hands and say a prayer word for word as the pastor leads for me to know I'm saved? What if they say the prayer and they forget a few lines, and so I end up not saying those lines? Alafu ikuwe hivyo, that is how I missed my salvation. And I thought, perfect chance for me to give you the story of how I got saved. So sit back, relax, and at the end of the day, you'll decide. Yes, so my salvation story. Like many of you who are watching, don't judge me, you know yourself. We have been born again many times, Every CU rally in high school, you got saved. Okay, I got saved. I'm not judging you. Maybe you got saved once. That's cool. But if you're like me, you would get saved and go back. Get saved. The next pastor who comes, you're like, I want to change now for real. And then you get saved only to find yourself back in a mess. The first time I got saved, I was 7 years old. It was a children's crusade somewhere, I think, in Olympic. That field in Olympic. Now, I was 7 years old in 1999. Yes, I'm old. I'm that old. And it was a children's crusade, and my mom had taken us. Yes, the birthday girl. She had taken my brother and I. And so I know there was music, there was puppet shows, there was lots of fun things. But at the end, the guy who was hosting, I remember he was wearing like military clothing, a military outfit. And at the end, he asked, who wants to get saved? And my mom, being the typical African mom, raise your hands. So we raised our hands. My poor brother, I think he was 4 years old, but he got saved when he was 4 years old. Big shout out to him, by the Obako. And so that's how I got saved. So I went through primary school, through high school. Through primary school, I was a good kid, smart in class, prefects here and there. And then I went to high school. Now, when I went to high school, I went to a school which is in Eastlands. Yes, Aquinas High. If you guessed it, pewa soda hapo kwa bili yangu. And we were living in Kawangware. Now, if you do not know the geography, it means I have to take 2 buses from home to school. Between these 2 buses, I can get lost anywhere. And I can do my own things, which is exactly what happened. And also when I got to high school, I realized haya, by the way, I can make my own decisions here. I can do things and my parents will not find about it. Haya. Yes, I'm a big guy, I'm an adult. And that's when I started going away from the faith, the Christianity that my parents had raised me, so staunch believers. And so I started meeting other friends and I went kando. Form 1, Form 2. Form 2, I had an incident where I would skive school. Hey, and then I got caught. That is a story I'll tell you another day. But then after that, I think my parents decided, we're taking you to boarding school. So in Form 4, here I am, boarding school, it's Form 4. By this time, I am into drugs. Yes, I'm doing drugs. Yes, this innocent guy here doing drugs. Fighting. I was literally a thug. I look at some of the things we're doing now. The things we used to do, I would be in prison on so many counts, robbery with violence being one of the biggest. But ile ya kuhandana, ile mnahandana amongst machu. But anyway, I'm doing drugs. I am selling them. I am not an addict yet. I can't say I was an addict. Because again, my body is weird. It tolerates drugs. I'm the type of person who will take 4 or 5 mugs of coffee and sleep like nothing happened. And sleep like it was milk. And so I was drug tolerant. Now, on this fateful day, it was August, during August holiday. I will never forget the day. It was a Wednesday. I'll give you 3 reasons why I will never forget that day. First reason is this is the day I got saved. So wait for the story. Second reason was because anybody who has been to a queue, if things haven't changed by now, it's been 12 years, man, so maybe kumebadilika. But lunch was rice, beans, and a banana. You do not want to know how important that meal was. So I'll never forget. Third, I said 3 reasons. Third reason was we had chemistry before lunch, double chemistry, so we used to go to the lab. So it was definitely a Wednesday because we were in the lab. And last reason, this one. We had a teacher called Luch. This teacher was our chemistry teacher. He used to teach chemistry and maths. Anybody who went to a queue between, let me say, 2007-8 and 2014-ish, I think, knows very well who Luch is. Now, let me tell you, Luch is this guy. He's, I think, 6'8", typical lawyer man, deep voice, humongous dude. He was our games master. Now I think he's at Uhuru Secondary. He's a senior teacher there, if I'm not wrong. We used to call him Kratos. Now, let me tell you why we used to call him Kratos. Anyone who has played the video game God of War, you know how Kratos beats his adversaries, his enemies. That way. I kid you not, and I promise. That is how Luch used to beat us. No exaggeration, no nothing. Unaona hivyo, take sijui nini, sijui shoka kwa kichwa. I am not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating, my people. That is how that teacher used to beat us. That's why we call him Kratos. There are so many stories of the things he did. Don't get me wrong, he was a great teacher. He was a great guy. He was very encouraging. His classes were funny, had jokes. He had a funny personality until you cross him. There's this thing he used to say. And there are incidences of people jumping off a moving school bus because he's coming for you. You are people they are just funny things he did. And the extent people went to get away from him. Anyway, so there's this thing he used to say. He used to say, unaribu. And so when Luch tells you, Kratos, or he tells you, unaribu, my friend, just stop, wacha kujitetea. Just listen and be like, Mwalimu, I'm sorry, accept your punishment. And go your way. Because when you start, kujitetea, Mwalimu, I am not the one who did this, unaribu. No, but Mwalimu, it was this other person who told me, unaribu. Now after unaribu, he would say, usharibu. When Kratos tells you usharibu, my friend, usharibu. Anyway, I do not remember what I had done this fateful day. But what I know is nilikuwa nishaharibu, because that teacher had beaten me seriously. Before he called me Wesa, he used to call me Wesa, but before that he used to call me Corner Man, because I used to sit at the corner. I think he was fun like that. He would come and write, scores for games that have been played on the blackboard, and he was just fun like that. But this day, he had given me a beating. So I wasn't in the mood. I'm in the lab. We are, our lab had like 4 rows. I was sitting at the back kabisa, and you know what happens in the lab? We have the smart people in front, and then the average ones, the not so average ones, and then who go behind are guys who are in our own world. Someone is sniffing what and passing out there. Someone is making what? Mixing things and drinking. Somebody else is pouring which chemical on who. That is where I was sitting this day. Now, I told you I was into drugs. What we used to do, since I was in boarding and the school was half day, half boarding, we used to sneak out a lot. And I'm not proud of this. So we were a clique of like 6-7 guys who are in this peddling and using business. And what we would do, to tusafishe rada, someone would sneak out, get a supply for like 2 weeks, come back with it, and then the other person would sneak. Now, of course, there were searches, of course, there were random searches, but we knew how to get by. So, this one day, one of my friends, I will not say his real name, I will just say what we used to call him. We used to call him Ndauo. Ndauo had left, and Ndauo came back into the lab. Now, he had left, like I think the previous day, and then now he's coming back, and it's chemistry. And he goes straight back to the lab. And of course, now that Ndauo is here, I'm like, yo, my man, umeleta nini bana? Bring us the stuff we sample. And he reaches out and he gives me something. Now, he tells me, hii ni noma, hii ni ngori, hii takulemea. And I'm like, what are you saying, man? I'm like, yo, that other time when you got drunk, sijui where. Nani alikuja akakubeba, akakupeleka? That other time when sijui who did what. I am the OG. I am the one who does not get affected by drugs. So give me that stuff. Kwanza hata sasa ninaweka mob. My friend, I remember talking to him, feeling a bit drowsy, and then lying on the desk like this, or the table, the chemistry, the lab thing, like this. That was before lunch. I was woken up just before night prep. Around 6:30 p.m. Woken up, head 50 kilograms, and it's aching and it's pounding. You know those bells or those things Chinese monks hit? Bong! That's my head. And it's 50 kgs. I am in terrible pain. So I went to the tap that was near our dorm, tried to wash my face. And then 2 friends came. I also won't say their name. And also sometimes I wonder whether I was exaggerating. No, kizungu ni ngumu. Whether I was daydreaming, where I was... I've forgotten the word. Hallucinating, that's the word. Hallucinating. Whether they were actually there. But one of them, we used to call him Meno. We used to call him Mennonites. There was a basketball team called Mennonites. We were fans of that team. And he had a weird dental formula. So, Mennonites, Meno. We'd crack bad jokes. Like, when we thought he was lying, we'd tell him to swear to tell us the truth. Only the truth. And nothing but the truth. That's one of the guys. The other guy was, I also won't say his name. He had a very, very, very bad nickname, which I won't say. It started with a G. But his other nickname was Bokono. Now, Bokono was one of the characters in a set book we were reading. He was a chief or something. Utengano. Not Utengano. I've forgotten the name of the set book. But we used to call him Bokono. Wait for it. Because he had a big hand. He had a huge hand, so we'd call him Mutemi Bokono. So these guys, I am in that bad mood, and I am feeling bad, I'm feeling wasted, and they have come, they're next to me. And they start telling me, what is wrong with you, man? When you're in Form 1, you used to preach. We hated you for it, but we respected it. You used to preach to us. And now you're here doing drugs. And I'm like, wait, doing what? Because I thought it was a secret, Nobody's supposed to know. And they're like, yeah, we know, man. It's no secret. Everybody knows. It's just that we look at you and we're like, this is childish play. And so let him think that he's hiding things. And so you see the disrespect there. And so they tell me, you're just being an idiot. Think about your life, man. We're about to finish our Form 4, our KCSE. And you're here wasting your life. And so that night, I didn't even go for preps. I went to the dorm, to my bed where I was sleeping. And I cried. Yes, I cried. I am man enough to also cry. I am man enough to admit that I cried. Yes. I also cry nowadays sometimes, but it's not that often. It's very rare. And it's normally when, like, during worship, anyway, I cried. Why I was crying, I can't tell you. I don't know whether it was because of the pain in my head, the pain in my heart, I guess. It's one of those ones where you cry, and if someone were to ask you why you're crying, you don't even know. And so I cried for a while, and after I finished crying, I prayed. Now, this is one of the most honest prayers I've ever prayed. I told God, one, take the pain away, okay? Because the pain was too much. Take the pain away. And then I prayed, I also told God, if indeed you have a purpose for me, purpose in my life, I do not want to do drugs ever again. Now that was 2010, it's 2022, 12 years. I have never ever done drugs. And that's the day I surrendered to God. I was like, you know what, fine. If I don't do drugs again, you lead me. You take me where you want me to go. Let me meet the people you want me to meet. Let me say the things you want me to say. And that is when I surrendered, totally and completely surrendered to God. And that is how I gave my life to Jesus. Now, of course, afterwards, there's a very important process that's called discipleship. And I thank God I met people. After high school, I met people who walked with me. There's one very specific guy whose name is Mato. He runs a catering company called Delicacy now. We don't even talk that often, but the impact that guy had on my life, I think for a whole year just working with me. Safari making mistakes, Martin bailing me out, And so that happened. But this fateful day, that's the day I gave my life to Jesus, August. And it's August now. This year, something that I value more than my own birthday, which is also in August. I celebrate 12 years in salvation. 12 years since I was born again. And that's a long time. There have been good times, there have been not so good times, ups and downs. But I can confidently tell you that is the best decision I have ever made. Hands down. Best decision I ever made. And so you're sitting there in your house and you're wondering, when will someone preach to me and lead me to Christ? Or when will someone, I do not know the words to pray. I'm waiting for someone to lead me in this prayer. It's as simple as, God, I know I'm a sinner. I know that you love me. I know that you died for me. I accept the gift that you have given me of your life. Would you wash me, make me as white as snow? And from here on out, I surrender to your will. Use me as you will. That's simple. It's a prayer you can make alone. If you need someone to help you through that prayer, you can reach out to me. Let me know in the comments here. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram or on Facebook. It's Wessar, Wessir on both platforms. Hit me up and let's talk. And that's the story of how I got born again, man. If this video has been of help or you've enjoyed or whatever, any feedback, I want to know, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments what you think. Yes. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because there's a lot more content coming your way. So, and also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Wessar. Like I said, let's interact. Let's talk. So, the question was, do I need to be led in prayer for me to give my life to Jesus? I think it's pretty obvious, but you decide. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for watching, man. It's been fun. I am looking forward to hearing from you. Until next time, man, God bless you. I love you, man. Blessings.